Howdy howdy and welcome back to Gale FFTCG. I'm Serah, your host, and today we're going to be talking about some heroic combos that you can use in your decks. So, my locals has been fantastic and recently let me start running these heroic tournaments and just to get a feel for the format, and over the past couple weeks I've seen some really cool combos and I thought I'd share them with you so that I can, so that you can get a little bit inspired and I can show you these kind of fun little ways of playing this format. So, without further ado, let's just get started. First off, we have Cyan and Samurais. It's pretty much a staple of the standard meta, and it has been for a while, but apparently it's really good in this format too. So, we're using the Opus 15 Cyan to basically be like a control piece for our other Samurais. This is our heroic in the deck, 7 CP, 9k. And when Cyan, a Job Samurai, or a card named Samurai enter the field, they have to be forward, sorry. That should be a caveat. It deals 9k to something, and that's really good, as it would turn out. And on damage 5, when Cyan enters the field, you can choose one forward opponent controls and remove it from the game. So this is just an insane removal piece. We can run it with Ayami, who is a rare from Opus 5, or the Opus 14 standard unit Samurai, and basically any forward with Samurai in its name or job. And there are quite a few of them. You can run it with Iroha and all sorts. But yeah, this deck is really good. It's got a really good control matchup, and also because of the amount of big, bulky forwards it can get for relatively cheap, it's just a really strong combo to kind of look out for and to consider building around. Up next, we have Naksuzaku Cloud, and this was a really cool deck. This won the first heroic tournament. The idea is that you use Naksuzaku, who's a 3 CP dark forward, that can only be played when you put something into the break zone, or one of your forwards into the break zone. And at the end of turn, you reveal the top 3 and you put one of those into play, as long as it's cost 4 or less. The fun part about this is that you can use it with the Starter Cloud, and the Starter Cloud says that you can tap and sack a category 7, including Cloud, which is kind of cool to know, and that's where this combo kind of comes in. What you can do is sack, and you can get a character, any forward, of a value that is 1 CP higher, and what you do is you crack the Cloud to play the Naksuzaku onto the field, and then you can start triggering off and just playing out all these forwards all at once. Naksuzaku is super cool for this, and basically it's just a dude spam deck. You just play a ton of stuff out, and I think the game I played against this deck, I want to say my opponent had 12 forwards or something crazy. Super cool combo, and it gives there's a lot of diversity in what you build. Ideally, you want to get to Cloud really early, so you run Starter Jesse to search up the Cloud and stuff. But as soon as you can get Naksuzaku on the field, you're just really far ahead, and it's a really cool deck. Sorry about the dog in the background. So, the last one, and this is probably going to come as no surprise to anyone, it is YRP. And YRP, because there are starter cards in this format, is still a thing. I know some people had a bit of concern about starter cards being in the format, but really, after playtesting and seeing, there's not actually that big of a problem with starter cards in the format. At least at the moment, I don't think there's anything so broken that it needs to be banned or nerfed, or that starter cards need to be disallowed. And YRP, actually a lot of the combo pieces really aren't from the starter. They are really from, they're kind of from the sets. The only 2 cards in it are the Pain and the Valfor, but you have the Yuna backup, you have the Riku backup, you have the Pain starter, and this is probably the most powerful piece of the combo, but you still need to pull it all together. And you've got Valfor, obviously. A lot of the cards that made this deck so strong in Standard, like Bismarck, Leviathan, all these kind of cards, aren't in the format. They just don't exist. And really, in a format where a card pool is smaller, it's healthier for starter cards to be there, because otherwise it's just Pauper with a playset of heroes. And that's not necessarily the best way of keeping a format interesting or healthy. You need to have power cards so that way everyone is kind of on the same playing field. And that's okay. And this deck is kind of one of those decks that really shows off alternate versions of YRP. Steve D was piloting this list for our first tournament, and he was playing Agrius and Ovelia, as well as like a backup engine and things like that. Very, very interesting combo piece, and one to look out for or build around. Certainly, if you're going to be, if you know this is maybe in your heroic meta, maybe you are lucky enough to have events like we are, then you can, you know, build to tech against it, or you can build it yourself and give it a try. Honestly, the deck is still good. I think it will be good for a long time until something else is printed at rare or common in this format that can go toe-to-toe. But yeah, with that being said, that's all the combos currently that I found really interesting and cool. If you have any other fun, interesting combos, please let me know. I'm always intrigued to see what you guys come up with. You guys are fantastic at building really interesting decks and coming up with some really interesting combos. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day and a good rest of your week.